All right, tell us what you're doing today.
Okay, today is the day we are getting rid of all this brown. So we are gonna take everything off the wall, all the cabinets off. We're gonna paint it white first and then give it a pop of color. Super exciting.
I think we could, yeah, but the problem is all the cabinet doors have to come off. So where are they going to go? We only have so much space, and then they're all going to be sitting out with one coat on them. So we're going to reinstall them with one coat and then take them off again later. You see what I'm saying? We will not get it all done today. We won't get all the white done on everything. We definitely won't get all the color done.
I think we could get one coat done on everything today.
And then reinstall all the cabinets and doors and stuff. It's possible, but my thinking is, though, I don't want to risk having everything off and then having hours worth of putting stuff back on just to take stuff back off. At this point, I think we should do one area, get one area completely done, then we go to the next area. But I don't want to live in a construction zone with everything exploded and then not be able to move or do anything, or we gotta pull it inside because of the bugs and where we're gonna put it. It just won't work that way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. I just thought it would flow better if we do like all the base coat on everything first.
And I'm not debating that. I'm saying that would be amazing, but we don't have a place that all this stuff can sit, so I just don't want to explode and there's no place to put this stuff. So I think we should focus just on this.
Okay,
get
so
all the cabinet doors off. You could be working on one thing, I work on the next thing. By the time one's dry, we can come do the next thing. And then if we get time, then great, we can come in here and we can tape this off and take these things off, and you know what I mean?
Okay.
But to take everything off, we just don't have a place to put all that.
Okay.
Let me just tell you from experience that painting RV cabinets and trim is a delicate skill. It takes just the right combination of finesse and force to really be successful at it. I mean, if you don't sand the wood, it's not really wood, but the wood, the paint won't stick. But if you sand it too much, you will sand that veneer right off, and then the whole thing is ruined. Fortunately, we've got some proven tips to share with you to make your life easier. Here we go. Tip number 1. Okay, first tip, remove the hardware from your doors. Listen, I know you think you're a pro and you're just gonna put some tape around it or something, but it will be a nightmare. Just remove the stuff. Take the extra time. Don't get lazy, because it will look so sloppy when it is covered in paint. Not okay. Remove the stuff, people. You got it. You got this. The second thing you must do in this glamorous task of painting pressboard is sanding. Sanding is a must. Using a light grit sandpaper, you'll want to scratch any surface you plan on painting. This helps the paint stick, and it really works. And it really peels off if you don't sand it, so make sure you sand it. Okay, today I'm working on sanding this beautiful piece of furniture right here. Okay, today I'm working on sanding this beautiful piece of furniture right here, and I wanted to share a couple things. First off, this is a great use for a mask. Actually, the purpose of the mask. How about that, huh? Nice to have one of those around. One thing I asked myself that you might be asking yourself is, does it really matter if I sand like all the tiny little spots? Like what about down on the edge here? Does that matter? And after yesterday, I can confirm it does matter. You need to take this sandpaper and you need to get down like really close into those edges, because if that veneer is still shiny, that paint does not stick well. And when you go to put the next coat on, it'll literally just kind of drag the first layer off. So make sure you take time on the sanding, and then you won't have to take time on repainting, okay? The sanding is way less time. So make sure you're doing the detailed stuff. Get in there, all these little things like the edges here. You're gonna get all that off, and you wanna sand it until you really start seeing that it's clearly been sanded. Like you can see here, that has not. The super shiny. This one here, you can see there's like some scoring, clear scoring, okay? So work those edges, make it happen. Number 3, if you prep it right, it will work. Basically, don't skip any steps, okay? We used Crud Cutter. This basically cleans off any oil or dirt, and it also softens up that glossy finish so that the paint will stick. If you paint a lot, then number 4 is going to seem pretty silly. But for the rest of us, this is very important. paint the edges first. Use an art brush or a small paintbrush to get into those tiny edges, and then you can paint the center much easier with a larger brush. All right, how's your side going there?
Well, my arm and my shoulder is a little tired, but it's going good. I mean, you just have to be patient and know that you're just going to have to do a bunch of coats because it's not going to go on very smooth on the first or the second coat. But after that, it starts looking really good. So, yeah, it's going good. I'm standing on a 2-step stool, reaching to the top, but I'm making it work.
Nice, good job. Okay, what do you think?
I love it. It's such a huge difference already. Okay, one thing is we talked about doing this white because this is going to be seen.
Okay.
There's nothing to cover this up, so that way we can get rid of this brown. And then we talked about doing this wall right here white, and then that, all this other stuff blue, because this is where the TV goes. So the TV will be black in front of this wall. So do you think we should do that white? Or should that be the blue?
I guess the more I think about it, I don't really want it to be white because it'll just point the TV out.
Right, okay.
So I'd say let's do blue.
Okay.
I said, imagine we paint the interior of the truck. And Lacey said, that would be weird. You could do that on your car though. And I was like, I'll do it on my Lambo. Yeah, I'm still set on a Lambo. I said, my first car is going to be a Mustang. Lacey said, mine's going to be a minivan, because minivans are the best. Brah, 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 brah.
Oh, this looks amazing. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. Brah.
Nice. This is
Thanks, brah.
and you're doing all in the same direction. Did your mom give you that tip to give us some details? Good job, guys.
I'm doing what you guys said.
Same direction.
I'm doing what you can do both directions, but then at the
Yeah, no, that's
end,
good. You're doing it right.
Then
That's
at
good.
the end, you
We're just
just.
gonna go back on. Well done. Well, this is fun. What a great art project.
Yeah, this is great.
It's gonna look great.
This is my art class.
Good job, team.
Hi, brah.
All right, good job, brah.
Bye, brah.
See ya. Okay, midlife crisis. I mean, midway painting. So far, it's going well. I've learned a couple things. One is you have to make sure that this paint dries, because if you get the next coat on while the first coat is just slightly not dry, because you're going onto a surface that's not ideal for painting, you know, it's kind of shiny, it's gonna pull off really quick. So make sure that first one is really dry. I had done that and left it, and then I went back and touched up a couple areas with the white, and then I forgot about that and went over it with the blue, and then I realized it was kind of pulling it up. So make sure it's really dry, especially in a situation like this. Maybe if you were dealing with like normal wood that had been painted for the first time, it wouldn't be an issue, but this definitely is. Also, just a reminder, when you're painting the first coat, don't try to cover everything really good. Just try to get the blue around the edges and then get a base coat, because what's happening is if I try to cover it really good, then it just smears. I'll show you an example here. So this is like the way it should be here. This coat, pretty solid. But then over here, you can see I went back and tried to cover again, and it just smears. It doesn't actually lay on nicer. So you want to do that, and then of course you see I've got a couple little kind of thick spots here, and I'll go back with the brush and just gently go over that. But it's like a balance between having too much paint on the brush and then not enough, or going a certain distance, and when it starts running out, that's where you should stop. Instead, I'm going on, then that makes me have to come back, but it's not laying on properly. So anyway, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on exactly how to do painting and the skill of paintbrushing. I'm just gonna show you what not to do. Here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to tip number 6 in the left corner. Yes, I know. This is the one you paid all the money for. Tip number 6. Here it is. Use a foam roller for your final coat. Man, does it look good. It really irons out all the brush strokes and gives you this pristine final look. Now, we did end up using the foam roller for our first and final coat of the color, but in the end, we decided to use a brush for the first coat, and the roller for the final coat saved us a lot of time. Go with that route. Okay, I've been cutting in with a paintbrush and doing a lot of the main, I mean, over here is not a big surface other than here. We got a bunch of these tiny little pieces here, and with that, I can really only do a brush anyway. But My plan was to do a roller for the final texture, and it looks really good. I'm still on the first coat, but in this, since it's such a big area, it made sense to go ahead and use the roller now. But I want to show you a little bit of what I'm doing here. So the key with the roller is to only put a little bit of paint on it, and then to really make it even by using this tray and the little dots here. And then you can start up high and gently roll it down. You don't want the roller to stop rolling, and you really only want to go up and down like twice, like I'm doing here. Once you've done that, just let it dry, because anything else is going to start pulling up paint from underneath it or smearing. So you can kind of see how I'm doing up and down just like this, and you can see some of the brown here that's kind of still coming through. So again, this is just the first coat, but I wanted to show you how that's working with the roller. The texture in the end is way better with the roller, but there's just some areas you cannot do with the roller. It's just impractical. And this is a foam roller, so again, it gives it a nice texture, perfect for cabinets. You don't get those lines like a brush. But anyway, brush in the edges and foam roll the main parts, and it'll look good. Okay, day 3, we are finally here, and things are going really smooth.
Yeah, we put up a lot of color yesterday, and it turned out so good. Look at that. We also did some white trim, and it's all coming together. I didn't realize how dismal it looked and how depressing almost the dark brown was starting to feel. So getting all this color in is making me super happy already.
Listen, if you are thinking of painting and you've been putting it off, don't do it. Don't put it off. Don't put it off, do it. Don't not do it, but don't put it off. Anyway, we've been in this RV for about 3 years with the original colors, and man, what a difference it makes to walk out to something that's a little bit more personal,
yeah,
a little more fun and exciting. And I'm telling you, just the adding that white, getting rid of the brown made such a big difference. So today our project is to work on these cabinets you see behind us here. We have some other cabinets over here, and then our kitchen area right in between us. Yeah. So we're gonna work on those. Again, pulling cabinets off, the doors off, and then sanding, doing the first coat, doing the second coat. So far it's working good. I learned a couple things from yesterday, noted that in another video, but in short, you know, you really need to make sure you sand really good. Some of the areas that I didn't sand well enough, I could tell from the beginning, kind of dragged the paint, and almost like if you put it in oil, it kind of separated a little bit. So the parts that I sanded better really stuck well. So I'm really going to focus on making sure I sand every little part, and then also wiping it really good and letting it sit just a little bit with the crud cutter. Number 7! You have made it to number 7. Hey, here's the deal. Don't stress your family out while you're trying to repaint your RV, okay? You still have to live in it. You still have to walk around the couch you can't sit on. Still gotta do dishes. Still gotta make dinner. So if you take everything off at the same time, it will be chaos, and they will hate you for it, and no one will ever want to paint again. So just take one step at a time, do one thing at a time, and then if you have to schedule it another week, do that. It will make your life easier. Okay, what do you think?
It looks amazing. I'm really happy with it. The color just pops. We did forget a couple little things here and there.
Yeah, like that thing here. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, don't look too closely. Things. Don't look too closely here.
We did forget the crown molding on this side. We were supposed to paint that white, so
yes, like the
we
other
still
side.
need to do that. A couple little touch-ups, but overall it is done, and now we're just putting everything back together.
I feel like the timing on this was good. 4 days of construction when you're living in it, I feel it's about my max. I'm ready to have the house back to normal, clean the floors, clean the walls, relax on our own couch for a little while, and not have to walk around everything. And the kids' room, of course, is full of all the stuff that was in this room, and our room is full of all the stuff. So overall, I love it. Great success and good learning experience. I think it was easier than I thought it would be for the most part, but it's time consuming with all the little nooks and crannies, and especially if you want to do it right and make sure you don't get paint on the walls or miss anything. So I'm proud of what we did, but
it looks good.
Yeah, happy with the result.
Yep.